Right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to you about the 810D. Basically, earlier on last year, we did quite a large job for a customer where we were drilling and tapping a load of pins on a machine that was sited here.
So this was the job that we were doing. 3 operations, comes round, tap. We were applying oil by hand. Realistically, hindsight's a wonderful thing. The location of the machine should have been different. We should have had extraction on when we were doing this job, and we should certainly made sure that there was a lot less smoke and vapour going into the atmosphere, because the fans to my left shoulder were just literally hoovering this up, and it was a disaster, as I'll explain as I go back to the other video.
What's happened is we've been using cutting oil, and the cutting oil has then been pulled into these. If you notice, these are nice and clean with super fine mesh filters in now. All the fans are super nice clean. That's because absolutely everything in the panel was coated in oil, and I'm very, very, very particular with my electrical systems and stuff like that. And what I'd say is this was a complete oversight on my behalf. We had total panel contamination within about 2 weeks. So if you're not in the panel every week, it's amazing the damage that can be done in such a short space of time. So we are literally trying to get going now. That main power supply there, that power module, that had blown, and basically everything inside these drives were sent to Nutronic, who's a specialist electronics repairer. That's them there, based in Warrington. Did an okay repair, had to go back because it was still full of oil. Not the best, if I'm honest, was a bit cheesed off of them, and it was about £5,500 to get it all done. So, however, I have got a working drive now. I had to do an elaborate clicky, see the NCK and the S4, there's a reset button behind there. Had to do some mad jazz, and now I'm loading this file on.
This is a good indication that you've blown your power module. So if you look at the operator panel below, you can see that all the LEDs are flashing. This is me removing the main control panel and getting everything ready to go off to Nutronic. My best friend sort of pinched my phone off me. I thought it'd be quite funny to show my lifting skills, to which I wasn't very happy. I must stress, only try and attempt something like this if you're competent and you've got a good electrical knowledge and you know what you're doing. I've been working with drives, motors for the best part of 20 years, and I'm an industrial electrician by trade. This video really is to just help you if you're really stuck and you're in a bind. But if you're competent and you're safe, have a go.
Common sense is not obviously a thing at Siemens. Why would you put a screw there? I'm sure they'll do an elaborate stupid tool for this instead of making a plug that's got screws either side.
Okay, I'm going to do my best to talk you through this. I'm not a PLC engineer, but as I say, I am an industrial electrician, and I've got quite a bit of experience doing this sort of stuff. So what I'll say is the NCK, or on newer, I think it's on newer controllers, it's called an NCU. The top dial, the S3 dial, that seems to be solely for resetting the PLC, and the majority of the next operations after that, you don't go anywhere near that top dial. So everything to do with the top dial is for clearing the PLC and wiping it. So I have heard horror stories of people bricking their controllers before now by doing silly things, shorting things out that they shouldn't be doing. Just be very careful when you're doing things like this, and try and read the document as it is intended, and do your best to follow the instructions as carefully and clearly as you can. So there is also a reset button underneath the S4 dial, and what that does is reset the PLC physically, and that is part of the your sort of clearing process, clearing and wiping the PLC and the NC. And so basically the S4 dial, from what I can establish, is that is how you are able to input the data from the memory card. So the way I've got it in my head is it's all backed up on the memory card, and you can read the memory card from the operator panel, and you can then load from the memory card into the PLC memory. And there are 2 slots within the memory, within the PLC, 2 and 1, and you have to be very precise on which file goes in which slot. So there are 3 files that are within the memory. Mine was laser PLC file, pretty much like archive files, I think it was. And then there was like the 710 parameters, or the NC file. And I had to do the NC file first, which was the bottom one. Totally counterintuitive. You'd think it'd go 1, 2, 3, but no, it was 3, 2, and I didn't touch the top one, the laser one. And the procedure was pretty much, when it was in position 2 on the S4 dial, that then happened. I then had to put the manufacturer's password in, which is in the document, and then I was able to load. One of the big things that wasn't in the document, and I had to figure out myself, was that you have to do it from the NC file. So it's on the sort of startup side of things, and what it was trying to do was read from an external RS-232 source, and what it should be doing is reading from the NC card. And that took about 3 attempts to get that right, but I was able to recover my machine from the memory card, and I can't tell you how happy I am that was the case.
Fucking beauty! She's alive!